How much will your vote end up costing the country at next month's general election? The newly released Bribe-o-meter holds the answers. It's a graph that has costed out election bribes and promises made by the National and Labour parties. The aim is to allow New Zealanders to judge for themselves the political bribes as parties vie for votes. The Taxpayers Union commissioned the Bribe-o-meter and hopes it will hold the politicians and political parties to account for how much their pork barrel bribes will cost New Zealand households. So far it details the difference between Labour and National's funding promises. The Bribe-o-meter suggests that the National Party's total cost of announced promises is $4.6 billion, while Labour has promised $6.9 billion of spending. Dr Michael Dunn is behind the Bribe-o-meter. During his time at Inland Revenue, he led a team of financial analysts that forecast government tax revenues and costed social policy through 30 budgets, half-year and pre-election economic and fiscal updates.
We took the numbers basically that National, as a leading party in the government coalition, has used for the budget for new spending for the next 3 years.
Then he turned to Labour's proposals.
We started with their fiscal plan that they put out in May of this year, and we've added in policies they've announced since.
The Taxpayers Union wants to remind voters that once the billion-dollar figure is broken down, it's the taxpayer who will have to pay. Union Executive Director Jordan Williams says for too long politicians have got away with plucking numbers out of thin air when announcing policy. As of Monday, National's promises add up to $2,770 per household. For Labour, it's $4,082 a household. The Bribe-o-meter suggests that National is proposing to spend a further $64 million on the rebuild. 50 of that will go towards funding and supporting Sarah, and the other $14 million will cover social services. In comparison, Labour's promised $193 million for Canterbury. 150 of that will cover the development of a regional plan over the next 3 years. $20 million will help with rockfall protection, and an additional $23 million will buy out the owners of flatland or commercial properties in the red zone. National's plan for Canterbury will cost $37 per household, while Labour's will cost $113. Nationwide, for the next 3 budgets, National proposes additional spending of $9.1 billion and Labour's $6.9 billion, with another $3.9 billion going to the superannuation fund. On paper, it seems obvious who is spending more, but Dr Dunn isn't so sure.
I don't see that there's a huge difference there. I think there's a lot of business as usual money going in there.
Dr Dunn is predicting that there will be more promises to come.
I think between now and the election we might see more promises and more proposals. I think I'm aware of 1 or 2 that National have announced that we haven't actually included.
The Bribe-o-meter will be updated weekly, allowing potential voters to assess which political parties are offering taxpayers value for money. Marcus Gibbs, CTV News.